Good afternoon and welcome to Boston Asian Radio and TV English Daily News Today. I am your host, Amanda. Here's a look at the top stories making headlines today. Medical helicopters land on I-95 in Byfield after serious rollover wreck leaves people trapped. Pence testifies before election probe grand jury, AP source says. Boston resuming tent removal protocols in the area of Mass and Cass. State exploring free and discounted MBTA fares during Sumner Tunnel closure. 4 Boston police officers acquitted of overtime pay scam. Medical helicopters land on I-95 in Byfield after serious rollover wreck leaves people trapped. A serious rollover crash on northbound Interstate 95 in Byfield caused 2 medical helicopters to land on the highway Thursday morning. Emergency crews arrived at the scene around 6 a.m. to find a white sedan in the median. The victims were trapped in the wreckage and were rescued by firefighters using the jaws of life. State police reported that they suffered serious injuries but were not life-threatening. The number of people in the vehicle is unknown. The highway was closed for the helicopters to land, but all lanes reopened before 8 a.m. The crash is currently being investigated. Pence testifies before election probe grand jury, AP source says. Former Vice President Mike Pence testified before a federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. on Thursday as part of a Justice Department investigation into efforts by former President Donald Trump and his allies to overturn the results of the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Pence's testimony provides prosecutors with a key first-person account of certain conversations and events leading up to the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Pence was subpoenaed earlier this year, but Trump's lawyers objected, citing executive privilege concerns. Lawyers for Pence raised a narrow challenge to the subpoena based on the Constitution's speech or debate clause, which was upheld by a judge. The investigation is ongoing, and it is unclear who, if anyone, will be charged. State exploring free and discounted MBTA fares during Sumner Tunnel closure. Transportation officials in Massachusetts are considering offering free and reduced MBTA fares to help ease the expected traffic congestion caused by the Sumner Tunnel closure this summer. The tunnel, which is being restored, will be closed 7 days a week from July 5 to August 31, in addition to most weekends until June and after September. Highway Administrator Jonathan Gulliver proposed offering free MBTA monthly passes to registered riders in the East Boston Resident Discount Program and cheaper $2 parking at Wonderland and Wood Island stations. The MBTA will also offer reduced fares for commuter rail service to Boston from Salem and Swampscott, and drivers registered in a state program will receive discounted fees on the Ted Williams Tunnel and the Tobin Bridge. The aim is to incentivize people to use public transportation instead of their cars. Boston resuming tent removal protocols in the area of Mass and Cass. Boston is resuming its encampment protocols in the Mass and Cass area, requiring individuals living unsheltered on Atkinson Street to remove all tents and structures by Monday. Mayor Michelle Wu promised a public health approach to the crisis and set a deadline for individuals living in encampments to be connected with services and for temporary structures to be removed. However, people continue to arrive, and the debate over how to address the crisis continues. The city is encouraging individuals in encampments to move their belongings and leave the area in advance of the May 1 deadline. 4 Boston police officers acquitted of overtime pay scam. 4 Boston police officers accused of embezzlement were found not guilty by a jury on Thursday. The officers were accused of stealing from the city by filing overtime slips for hours they didn't work. The defense argued that they were following standard department practices. The trial focused on whether it was normal for officers working at the Evidence Control Unit to be paid for full 4- or 8-hour overtime shifts when they were allowed to leave after just an hour or two. The defendants did not deny being paid for hours they didn't work, but argued that the conduct was not illegal. The remaining 11 officers have either pleaded guilty or are awaiting sentencing. Stay tuned for more updates on Boston news as it develops.